Hello? Hi.
Hello, sorry about my didn't open.
No problem. How are you?
I'm good. How about
Good, thank you. I'm Sarah. I'm from Ireland, but I am in Bali in Indonesia at the moment. What about you?
my name is Jefferson.
Jefferson, very nice. Where in Brazil are you from?
I'm from the northeast of the country, from the state of Bahia.
Oh, I have been there. I love Bahia, so nice. Uh,
Really?
I've been, yes, I spent 6 months in South America and maybe 2 months in Brazil. And I came from the Amazon down from Manaus to fly to Berlin and then all the coast down the whole way into by Iguazu Falls into Argentina.
Wow, amazing.
Yes, yes.
You know
And one of
more
my
my country than me.
many Brazilians say that. And my favorite city is definitely Bahia. I love that. It's so amazing and all the I was there during Carnival also, and the drums. I love the drums, and I love the food. Very
Good
nice.
life.
Yes, yes. So, sweetie, do you want to do this lesson on technology, or you just want to have a free talk or something?
I don't know.
Uh, what do you normally do?
Sometimes we do the lesson. Sometimes we have a free talk. It depends of the teacher. Sometimes they didn't ask about the lesson and just talk, and I don't care about it. Sometimes they go to the lesson and we have talk about the lesson and other things related.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going to have. I don't know if that's a rocket ship or what, but someone needs a new exhaust pipe on their bike. Sorry about that. It's it'll go away now. Up to you. We can just chat if you like. Up to you. Are you preparing for the IELTS exam?
Yes, maybe.
Yes, maybe. What about telling me about yourself and what you're doing in school and um, a little about yourself?
Well, actually, I and I am in the economics. Now I'm the seventh semester, almost graduating, and I grew up in a small town called Ipira. It's around 200 kilometers from Salvador, the capital of the state. But now I'm living in the second largest city from the state, Feira de Santana. It's 100 kilometers from Salvador, and here it's it's where my college is located. And I'm working as well. I'm working at a bank, Itaú, and I think just this.
Busy guy.
Oh yeah,
Busy guy. What?
yes, yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
That I'm here in Cambly since 2021.
2021. Okay. So you spent your COVID time wisely. Uh, so what about your family? Do they live in the same city as you now, or you just moved there for university and work?
Yes, my parents are living in my hometown, and my brother is living in in Salvador, the capital. He's studying there
Okay. What does he study?
to become a dentist.
Okay, excellent. Um, so what about in your free time, if you have any? What kind of sports or what kind of hobbies do you like to do?
Actually, every day I go to the gym in the morning, early in the morning. Uh, Sometimes in my free time, I try to play the violin. I
Oh,
started to study this a few months ago. I don't know much about it, but I try to do which I have know. And I study English in my free time as well, with series and movies and other things.
And what about in your work? Do you have to use English ever at work?
No,
Not really.
sadly, no. Actually, Brazil is a country which we don't use English a lot. Some sources say that only 3% speak fluently. And if you want to use English with work, you have to work for international companies or organizations or some strategic point.
Yes, I noticed that myself when I was in Brazil, and
Yeah.
I can speak. At the time, I could probably speak basic Spanish, and then I was like, no, because Portuguese is not the same at all. So it was a little more challenging. But um, what about in the future? Would you ever like to work abroad, or would you like to work in an international company?
Well, I always study English because I for no other cultures and other countries an international language, a common language, a language which every without large difficulties. So I study English because of this. When you become a little more, it's not fluently, more, how can I say this, comfortable with the language, you establish some goals. And I want to do a master's degree abroad. I don't know if I will achieve this, but I want it because this could lead me to uh, an amazing experience and some opportunities. Or
Yeah, you
and
should.
yeah,
And if you had to choose any of countries that would interest you to study abroad, where would you like to go?
Canada or United Kingdom.
Okay, so I lived in Canada for some time. Why Canada, and where would you like to go?
It's an interesting question because it's close to United States, but it's not the important point. But I don't know. It's the country because it's large and we have a small population, and because of the many opportunities, and they are very open to immigrants and foreigners. If you go to any college, you see how is this.
You're right. It's a lot more welcoming because it is has it's such a massive country, as you said, where the states is a lot harder to get into. Canadian people also are very friendly and very welcoming. And when I moved there, um, they're very nice and warm people. Um, Toronto, I lived in for 2.5 years, and I had a working visa there, and I really enjoyed my time there. It was just too cold for too long. So, the winter is about 9 months, but saying that, it's a new experience, and it's a very cool thing to also, you can, maybe you're into experiencing snowboarding or skiing, and you can do many things like this that are probably
Yes,
very new Brazilian.
yes. I have a cousin who lives there as well. She lives in Vancouver, and she talk about the rain. It's almost every day, and but it's just loving there.
See, Vancouver's more like my home country, Ireland. So it's like a milder climate. It's way warmer than the rest of Canada, but it rains a lot, like Ireland. So, but you have stunning scenery. And then you're not far from Banff or Lake Louise, all these amazing Jasper, incredible nature. And
Yeah.
um, many people go to even do skiing and seasons or whatever. What's she doing there? Your cousin.
Actually, she graduated here in Brazil, architecture, and there she's doing an MBA, I think.
Wow, very good. Good for her. Also, my home country has many Brazilians
Yeah.
living. Yes, because we have a very good IT and pharmaceutical industry, but also I think because of the culture is similar. We enjoy music and like it's very much orientated around family and fun, and I think it's similar to the values of Brazilians also.
I follow some pages on Instagram, and they talk about the uh, exchange and culture and something like that. And Ireland is almost like Canada related to immigrants, right?
You see, we are a small nation who have been immigrating for many years due to history and uh, politics and so forth. So many people, uh, during the Great Famine in 1850, we had a famine. So many people immigrated to Canada, to America, and to Australia. So you have a lot of uh, influence, even in the accent, Nova Scotia in Canada, but a lot in the States also, and a lot in Australia. So, yeah, so it's very
And
interesting, of course.
yes, and Ireland has a strong relationship with United States as well because we have lots of president who has descent from there.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So, like Kennedy, and many of the presidents also, so they have a very good relationship. And we also have a tax bracket in Ireland. So it's an incentive for companies to open up, so like, for example, many of the headquarters like Facebook or uh, Google have their headquarters based in Ireland because of this tax incentive. So we get a lot of traction of American companies also.
Interesting. So you have lots of jobs to offer.
Yes, I mean, right now it's like the rest of the world, struggling with inflation and the crisis from after the pandemic and the situation with Russia and Ukraine. But there are, yes, in general, it's a very good country to work and live in. Cost of living is high. This is a crisis globally, and it's not been matched by salaries, of course. But um, currently, because of the situation with Russia, it's very high. But hopefully, that shall start to
And
balance.
in this situation is in almost all of the countries in Europe, in not a particular case. In normal case, Ireland tends to be more attractive than other countries.
It's very attractive to many people because of, first of all, obviously speak English as our first language, and second of all, we have a very good education system and great job opportunities. The only thing, our main downfall is that it rains a lot. So yes, but very welcoming people, and most people really enjoy who move to Ireland.
It's very interesting. It's like Dublin. I think it's one of the most beautiful capital
Yes,
in Europe. I have seen some pictures.
it's what capital?
It's one of the most beautiful capital in Europe, Dublin.
Uh, it is nice. It is very nice, but I mean, you have so much diversity in Europe. If you look, the other good thing about Ireland or Europe is it's so, you know, it's not as massive as other huge continents, and it's easy to, you know, get around. So that you can fly cheaply from Dublin to Paris to Madrid to get a train easily, and there's many beautiful, you know, quick change of culture. You like Spanish to French to German, so diverse, and
This is
um
very good. I have a friend who is in he is in Portugal doing an exchange program from the college, and he has been in other countries. It's one opportunity that leads to another chance to know other countries. But in Brazil, it's difficult because to get out of my state, you have to fly 3 4 hours, and it's like a continent. And because of this, we have less contact with other cultures or other languages, and that's something negative.
Like that, like yeah, exactly. You have said Brazil is so massive. It takes time to, whereas Europe is a lot smaller in landmass, and you have 44 countries in that space. It's a lot of different culture. So, especially for someone young and like your age, I'd highly recommend going to uh, the UK or to Europe to study, because you have all of that to discover, especially if you love culture and different nationalities.
And because of this, we have more fear to go abroad because you actually in Europe, you've know more countries because of this facility. So you have more, how can I say this? You you go to 4 countries with more facilities.
Yeah, it's easy and we're used to it. Exactly. Uh, Also, when I was probably not far off your age, in when I was in college, myself and my friends, we did interrailing. So interrailing, basically, we took a tent with us, and we get on. You buy a train ticket for, you can do for different zones. So maybe if you do one zone, you have 3 countries. If you do 4 zones, you have maybe 10 countries in Europe. And you basically then can use the ticket to get on any train and go where you want in Europe. And just, it's amazing. Like, we traveled 9 countries in that time.
Wow.
And it was just fantastic meeting different culture and everyone, and something for you to think about if you are considering doing a master's abroad. You can still travel a lot of places and see in a short time.
This is the goal.
Yes, you can do it, buddy. You can do it, Jefferson.
And
Yes.
because you in Europe have a better means of transportation, that facility, everything. Here in Brazil, we only have the car and the bus or the plane. And for example, if I want to go to other states by plane, I have to travel 1 or 2 hours by bus. Then on the plane, 1 or 2 hours to go to other state. So this is more expensive, and we lost more time, and we could be enjoying the place in that time.
Canada is also that similar like that, because it's such a massive country. Obviously they don't have infrastructure for to fly here, and it's also time consuming. Whereas, Europe has amazing rail system, flights, everything. We have a airline, it's Irish, called Ryanair, and listen, you can like, if I go home, I can book a flight. My boyfriend's German. I can
Yeah,
fly from Germany to Dublin for €20 if I book it in time. You know,
this is very common in Europe. This
this
company.
airline. Yeah,
Yes,
yes, yeah, very, very common. And you could fly to Paris, fly to Rome, whatever. And if you book in time, you can get cheap flights, 20, 30, €40.
and it's very good when you speak two languages, for example, in English and French, and
Exactly.
make more
Or,
easy to travel.
yes. And of course, you have Portugal, beautiful, beautiful country.
Yes,
Um, Many cool, Lisbon or Porto, very cool cities with amazing food. And yes, like, for example, many digital nomads, or many people work there online because of the cheap cost of living and the amazing nature and culture also.
this friend of mine who is in Europe, he have been some difficult to travel to other countries because he doesn't speak English, only Portuguese, so it's more limited for him. And but he is know three countries, and my cousin in Canada, she just has been in Vancouver for more than
Yes,
1 year.
I've exactly. So, like, Canada is amazing. I'm not saying don't go to Canada. It's an amazing country. But if you want to see more culture and more countries in a space of a, if you're going to do a master's or something over a year or two, uh, I would recommend looking at Europe. And especially, if you are interested in the UK, then there you have the thing now with the UK is if you get a visa for the UK, you won't have the visa for Europe.
Yes, because
But if
they're not
you,
more of European Union.
yes, but for example, if you look at Ireland, then you have the whole of Europe to play with.
I'll change to Ireland. They playing.
There you go, my friend. So, then you'd have the visa to travel. If you have weekends, you can go for a long weekend. I'm off to Madrid for the weekend. I'll be back study Monday. You
Yes,
know,
this is why I'm trying to improve my English in the future, doing the IELTS because they will be necessarily.
good. Well, if you need any help doing the IELTS, I've prepared many people for it, and um, I know sometimes it's just nice to have free chat, but of course, I'm here for if you want to uh, work on that.
Yes, I'm looking forward to a C1, and some teachers here say that I'm B2, but I don't think so. So I have much to improve.
You're pretty good. You could get a B2, I would reckon. If you prepare for it and continue to do that before you do it, I would imagine you could get a very good mark. So,
Yes.
yes, yes. And what time is it there now? It's night time.
Um,
Eight.
age 22,
Okay.
28.
So it's 7:28 here in the morning time in Bali.
Wow.
So yes, starting my day is starting and your day is coming to an end. So
Yes.
what about at the weekends? What do you like to do with your friends or
And on weekend I'm going to my hometown because on Sunday is the Father's Day, so I'll be there, and it's just
and
this.
what how
Yeah,
long does it take you to get there to your hometown?
1 hour
Oh, not too bad. By bus?
by car, by bus, almost 2 hours.
Yes, of course. Okay, nice. That's good. And do you often go back home to see your family?
Yes,
That's
2 3 times per month.
oh, that's good, good. And in any special plans for Father's Day?
No, I will plan of this.
It's my mother's birthday tomorrow, so I have to get online now and order flowers and send her flowers.
Yes. Thank
Uh,
you so much for your class. I love this chat, and I've scheduled another class with you
oh, great. Me too. Brilliant. Very good.
next week. Yes, next week.
How often do you do Cambly?
Once a week, 30 minutes.
Once a week. Okay, perfect. I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
Okay, darling. Have a good evening and talk to you next week.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.